I'd like to do a quick run through of slapping some alchemical astrology on top of some other symbolism so we get a better idea of what is actually being presented to us. And you can kind of see where we stand. This is just going to be a quick run through. When the website gets up, I'm going to go very in depth into all of this. But always looking at a Freemason tracing board, east is always up, not north. So we're facing the sunrise. We're facing east here. West, you enter in at the west. East is above. North, when you're facing east, north is always to your left, and south is always to your right. And it shows you west, south, east, and I think the north just got cut right there. So based on the alchemy and astrology, the alchemy of that magic circle, we can put the planets where they belong here, where they actually belong. Now when you come into a Freemason temple, you enter in at the door on the tracing board. You have the solar pillar, the lunar pillar, the ladder, and the tracing board on the bottom, the black and white checkered, that's earth. You have fire, water, air, and earth. Earth is in duality in the black and white. The doorway to walk into the Freemason lodge is the entered apprentice. So right down here, is Virgo. It's mutable earth. This is Virgo, and it's ruled by Mercury. Right here in the lodge, you have an altar. And depending upon the lodge, you'll have a book on that altar. In Western tradition, they have the Bible. And the Middle East, they have the Quran. And even in the Hindi traditions, the different lodges and temples, they'll have the Mahabharata or the Rig Vedas, they'll have different scripts on the altar. And then you have right at the altar, here is fixed earth. That's Taurus. That's the Tau. That's Taurus. And right at the bottom of the ladder, where the ladder meets the floor, that's cardinal earth. That's Capricorn. So you have Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn on the checkerboard floor. On the solar pillar, you have mutable fire at the bottom, Jupiter. You have fixed fire in the middle. That's the sun. This is Leo. Leo is here. You would think the sun's going to be at the top, but it's not. The fixed fire down here is Sagittarius. You have Sagittarius, Leo, and at the top, cardinal fire is Aries, ruled by Mars. Wondered why Mars is at the top of the solar pillar. I'm going to explain that in a minute. Lunar pillar, at the top, we do have the moon in Cancer. In the middle, we have fixed water, which is Scorpio. And at the bottom, we have the mutable water, which is Pisces, where we are now. That's why we are in a lunar age, because we're in Pisces and we're at the bottom of the solar pillar. I'm at the lunar pillar. Now for the ladder. At the bottom of the ladder is Gemini, ruled by Mercury. He's the prince of the power of the air. It's what I call under the dome, the air under the dome, the clouds, the air we breathe. In the middle of the pillar is Saturn or Aquarius. And at the top of the pillar is Libra and Venus. And we're not told this. The symbolism we're given is different. Now let's do the same thing to the Tree of Life real quick. Just like they've lied to us about Freemasonry and they've lied to us about astrology, they've also lied to us about this. And there's something missing here. This is not complete. This is missing. You have the solar pillar and the lunar pillar. They tell you Bina and Chakma is Saturn and Jupiter. But that's not true. It's the same as the Freemason. And this one's flipped. Bina should be on this side. They flipped them. They've actually flipped it here. So I'm disconcerted with what these are. Because here, this is the entered apprentice. This is Virgo. Let me get something to draw with. Here, Virgo. The entered apprentice. And then you have Taurus. And then you have Capricorn. That makes this Gemini. The Da'ath, Gemini. Kether would be Aquarius. And then there's one above Kether. It's going to be Libra. Here, you're going to have Mars in Aries. The Sun in Leo. And then Jupiter in Sagittarius. For here. Here you're going to have Jupiter in Pisces. Then you're going to have Mars in Water of Scorpio. And that's the lineup of what's actually there. Now, what are we looking at when you throw the alchemy on it? I don't care if it's Freemasonry and I don't care if it's Kabbalah. I'm going to show you right here. You're still looking at this. Because they've got Aries right there. That's Aries. This is Libra. And here you have the mutable cross, which is Sagittarius and Gemini, Virgo and Pisces for this age, being ruled over by that cardinal fire. Same thing when you're looking at the Freemason tracing board. It's exactly the same. It's nothing more than a cairo, both of them. And they're both false. They are not trees of knowledge of good and evil, and they are not trees of life. They have been altered. They have been put on the altar in the age of Taurus and altered. Both of them. Let's look at a little bit more symbolism. Alright, we're just going to do this from their own little magic works and show you. And I've explained to you how they've taken Thalem and they've turned it into Thelema. That Aleister Crowley was in the Great Pyramid at Giza doing a ritual and he started channeling Lamb. Not Thalam, just Lamb. And he came out with Thelema, which is a play on Thalem. But he swears that he was channeling the Orion constellation. And that's incorrect. And if he was, it's all a lie, because it's the same thing. They took Pan and made Baphomet out of it. Now, let's decipher this symbolism, because this is not Saturn in Aquarius and Capricorn at all. Because you have the Mercury caduceus here. And Mercury and Jupiter, either one, their symbolism can't be here. They have no part in the next two ages. They only rule this age. And I've already done the videos on There is no damn goat of Mendez. It has always been a ram. A ram is a male. There's no such thing as a female ram. It don't exist. It is a word that constitutes masculinity. A ram. And this is like we see, we're told about a wolf in sheep's clothing. Well, we have a ram in a goat's clothing. Because this venerates the Cairo. Because you have the Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter conjunction. And Mercury and Jupiter have no part in heaven on earth of Aquarius or Capricorn. This is an abomination. It is the lie. There's no such thing as thelema. It is thalem. Do what thou wilt. You better be prepared, because you will reap what you sow. You will reap what you sow. And love over law. Law is Aries. Love is represented by Venus. So Venus over Mars. Venus over Mars. And Venus is over Mars, because Venus ranks in its masculine aspect as cardinal air, when the best that Aries can do is cardinal fire, and they oppose. So all of this symbolism, and of course the coffin of death down here, but there's a lot of problems with the Baphomet, the way they've given it to us. The body of a true Baphomet is masculine, not feminine. Capricorn is the feminine aspect. This is a ram, and this is the woman under the ram. This is Virgo. There's your caduceus. It's Virgo. We've been lied to about everything. Wings on the back, Libra. Got to have that crown chakra, and they've put the cardinal fire up there. The fire. Actually, it's the fire in the mind. That's just Jupiter. That's just fire in the mind, Sagittarius, ideology. That's not a crown chakra. That's not the feathers on the head. That's not the rainbow. That's not any of that. It's all. And this is the symbolism that's ruling the world. This is the symbolism they want to rule the world right here. That came out of the Golden Dawn and Aleister Crowley's shit-ass work. It's all garbage. It's all garbage. And I'm not sure if he knew it was garbage and he just played on that, or he actually channeled this, what I call, lying spirit. We are to try the spirits to see which god they be of. And the god that's been doing all this lying, he's an imitator. He's an imitator. That's all he can do, is just imitate. Thelema, my ass. Thelema, the word thelema wouldn't even be here on the solar pillar. Thalem is halfway up the ladder. It's not on the solar pillar at all. It's Aquarius. And they've got it in fire. And even Orion is not on the solar pillar. Even Orion is down at the altar in fixed earth of Taurus. At best, even if you pull Orion, part of Orion into the Gemini constellation, the lower house of Gemini with Sirius, it's still, at best, mutable air. But no way is this symbolism correct. It's all mumbo jumbo. It's all been scribbled. It's all wrong. We have to get a new zodiac, a new alchemical circle, because the one we've got has been altered. And I'm aware of that. But it still affects us, because all things are run by symbolism. Now, a lot of you are concerned, what I'm seeing, a lot of you are concerned, again, about the election and what's coming. What's coming is still fake. What's coming is still imposter. It's not real. And until we enter into the age of Aquarius, until we enter into the knowing, which we are beginning to, we're in that moving stage between two ages. When you calculate it out, we actually have, if the zodiac doesn't change, if the timeline remains the same, if there's not another tsunami or earthquake that throws the earth off of its axis, we're looking at 700 years, 10 degrees, 720 years before we enter into Aquarius. It's not as close as we think. But that time has to be cut short because they've already flipped Peter's cross. Peter's already dying upside down. They have pressed the timeline. They have paced the ages with the space age. And it's all faux pas. None of it's real. None of this is. This whole system is a knockoff. It is a bad, recyclable, disposable Chinese invention. All things come from the Orient, from orientation, from the Oriental. You got to get orientated. You have to go to orientation, to origin. So all of this botched symbolism, all of it comes from the Orient. Even when we look at Stellarium, when you look at the Arabic, it's showing you Oriental images. They all have slant eyes. They all have the slant-eyed, yellow-skinned symbolism in the Asian tradition. It's an Asian tradition. And when we talk about Asia, let's back up a second. When you talk about South America, Central and South America is Quetzalcoatl. It's the feathered serpent. It's Scorpio, the eagle, and Libra, the serpent. The serpent with wings. Scorpio, Libra, the feathered serpent. And Libra, Venus was cast down out of Libra and recast in the storyline to fixed Earth in Taurus. At the same time, that knowledge that was Central and South America of Quetzalcoatl landed in the Orient, and it became the fiery dragon. It became the serpent whose wings were torn off. It no longer had that Scorpio wings, and the wings were torn off. So we see the serpent, or the dragon of the Orient. And they do the dragon in the streets. Remember, he's on the belly now, on his ground. So all of this ancient symbology, you can follow the symbology around the world in the architecture and the symbolism that were given to the peoples. And you know when they were in power, what symbolism they used. You can understand all of it. And you understand it through the symbolism. So all of this is just crap garbage. It's nothing more than another Cairo. And to me, if I had to give a title to the Cairo, I call it the abomination that maketh desolate, because it does nothing but destroy everywhere it goes. Everywhere the Catholic Church has taken that symbol, it has left nothing but destruction in its wake, and a perverted symbolism in its wake, in its path. It replaces, because it knows symbolism rules the world. And I've said this before, I know the Pope and the British Crown shit themselves when they came to the Americas and saw that the chief had on a full headdress of feathers on his head that went to the floor. That's not just your crown chakra, that's your whole aura. And they knew the symbolism alone told them exactly what they were dealing with. And they had to destroy it all of it. They had to rewrite all of it. And everything, there is nothing pure on this earth, nothing. If you think America is one of the biggest abominations of all. And I know you people hate to hear that. So many of you are these loyal Trump supporters and just want things to go back to the way they were. And a lot of you are terrified of communism coming here. And I'm telling you, we're manifesting this. We're the ones doing this, but we're being played. And we're being played by the television, the radio, the symbolism, the religions, and all their symbols. And it really got the beast that was and is not and yet will be is the damn Cairo. Constantine saw a cross in the heavens and was told to conquer in this sign. Well, there's only one symbol that conquers. And that's the symbol of the masculine axis of the cardinal cross imposed over any other symbol. And it is the Cairo. It's not the fixed cross as we know it. The symbols that the priesthood carries are different than the symbols that they give to the plebs or to the laymen. They have different symbolism. And now they've given you all this bogus symbolism that brings nothing but death, destruction, misery, negativity. We could live in heaven on earth, but to do that, we need to start promoting heaven on earth symbolisms, the correct ones, because there are 3 sets. You have heaven on earth, which is Libra Virgo. You have heaven on earth, which is Gemini Taurus. And then you have heaven on earth, which is Aquarius Capricorn. Or you can look at it as you have heaven on earth, Libra Taurus, both ruled by Venus. You have heaven on earth, Gemini Virgo, both ruled by Mercury. But the only one that works, well, the first one, when you say heaven, Libra, air, and Taurus, earth, both ruled by Venus, that's just ruled by the heart. When you say Gemini, heaven, Mercury, Virgo, earth, Mercury, then that's mutable. But that is logic and intelligence. It's just the human mind trapped in materialism. But when you say heaven on earth, Aquarius, Capricorn, both ruled by Saturn, one, it's not divided. It's one thing. It's one age. It's not divided. And it truly is going to be a heaven on earth, fixed heaven on a cardinal earth. And it is at the highest point that humanity can be. That's when we come full circle and the circle is complete. And that's where we're headed. But right now we're being given a fake one. A fake one. Now, back to the 700 years. We're told that when Satan is cast down, which Gemini is now in Virgo, then cast down to earth, woe unto all of us, because actually it's the son of Satan cast down. I believe Jupiter is Satan. This word Saturn, I don't even know where it comes from, but it's bullshit. That's Kronos, chronology, the father time, and it's just all a play. And what we really need to focus on are the symbols of Aquarius, Aquarius over Capricorn, heaven on earth, air on over earth, symbolism. And that ain't this. This is not heaven on earth. This is nothing but another messed up Cairo, Freemasonry, all the Freemasonry schools are run by Jupiter. Have been, always have been. Even before the age of Pisces, they've all been run by Jupiter. They call them the mystery schools. And Jupiter has several names in the Arabic. Two of them being Mustari, which we get the word mystery from, and Nibiru, which we get the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, which is what we're coming up on. Now, again, a lot of you are worried about communism coming. That's just another failed-ass Cairo symbol, a symbol to conquer, all being led by war. China's the great war machine. And it all has to play out. And those days, that 700 years, is in the same symbolism of the 7 years between these two eclipses and the halfway point of the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter on the solstice. It's a mimic. It's a microcosm in a macrocosm. And they're manifesting it. And they're using us to do the manifestation. We're the ones manifesting it. All they can do is present the symbolism, and we latch onto it, or we come up with our own symbolism, which is what we need to be doing. We need to be doing the correct symbolism. Because these days, we're told, as Peter's dying, when they flip that mutable cross of this age, that the days are shortened. When they flip the mutable cross, Peter starts dying, then Satan is cast down to earth. And his days are short. He knows he has but a short time. So all hell's breaking loose right now. And they're doing this on purpose because they swim in chaos magic. Chaos magic, which is order out of chaos. And they cause the problem so they can give you their solution. And I can't say this enough. Problem, reaction, solution, the Hegelian dialect. The only way to defeat it is to not react to it. If you don't react, they can't roll out the solution. So they've got a bunch of fake people out reacting. They pay actors to react because the public just really don't give a shit anymore. They're about bored with them all. Nobody watches TV anymore. Little bitty news channels on YouTube get more views than CNN, MSNBC, or any of them. They get more views on little bitty news channels, nobody channels on YouTube than the big networks are getting right now. But they play like the whole world's upset. No, it's just the aristocracy, the ones in control of the media. They're shitting themselves right now because they're in a battle with each other. And the battle is for us. The battle is over who controls the symbolism and shoves it down our throat so we manifest it. So get your symbolism straight. Get your images straight. Write them in your mind, somewhere they can never be taken from you. But everything we're being given, I don't care if it's Freemasonry, I don't care if it's Kabbalah, I don't care what it is. It's all been altered. And as long as Mars sits atop that solar pillar, then it's always the power of the Cairo in charge. We have to have a new zodiac. We're told, Christ in the red word said, we need to repent. We need to repent. I've done this etymology on this word, and it actually comes to us out of an alchemical French term that means to repaint or repin the zodiac. And that's what has to be done. That's why we get a new zodiac, a new heaven, a new earth. And it's coming. It's already there. We just have to acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge it. And we have to, here's a good one for you. Take a marker and draw the cairo on the bottom of your shoe so that you walk on it. There's some good symbolism for you. You can take the Freemason tracing board or the tree of life or the cairo itself and just draw it on the bottom of your shoe. Got a problem with corporate logos? Just start putting them under your feet. There are magic rituals that when you want to control somebody, you literally write their names on the bottom of your feet and you walk on them. There's some symbolism for you. There are many different ways that we can manifest this. But we need to put these images under our control. And instead of them controlling us, we need to control them and stop giving what's handed to us by the corporations. They ration the body, the corpse. They just ration it. A corporation is a corpse. It's dead. There's no life in it. There's no breath. There's no air. There's no soul. All right, I think I said what I wanted to say. You can take it from there. Throw your ideas down there for the rest of us. If you've got any better sigil magic to override these abominations that we've been given. And yes, in the next age, it most definitely is do what thou wilt. But it's also you will reap what you sow, regardless of what the hell you decide to do. Thou wilt better be love above all and nothing else. That Aquarius is the one who dies for the whosoever. It's about individuality. It's about individual sovereignty. And communism, what they're trying to shove on us, is exactly the opposite of that. That's just more Piscean groupthink. It's not real. It's not the New Age. That's all bullshit. That's all Kabbalah Cairo. That's all Freemasonry Cairo. It's all Vatican Cairo. And funny how they tell us the name is Egypt. They tell us the city is named Cairo. Bullshit. It's Babylon. The fortress of Babylon is in downtown Cairo. That great pyramid sitting there represents fire. And it's supposed to represent the fire of the sun, Leo. But now, because of what they've done, it now represents, the cardinal fire is now Aries, represented by Mars and war and emotion. Action and emotion. And that's what we're all being ruled by. And I send you back and tell you to go again and watch the 2 videos. The goat of Mendez. What damn goat in Mendez? Because there never was one. It's a stele that is talking about the power of the 2 rams. 2 rams. It's nothing to do with the goat. Never did. That's all a lie and an abomination so that you buy into the symbolism. Alrighty. Stop buying their junk. Stop buying their junk. It's time we manifest. We're the ones manifesting anyway. We just need to start manifesting what we want instead of what they want us to have. And you can do that on an individual level. And once you do it, you become the example in your family. And then in your community, your tribe, your state, your nation, and it just spreads out. But everything starts, a giant tree starts with one little seed. And it takes time. It's a process. It's not an instantaneous thing. Just like this conjunction. It's not an instantaneous thing. It's a process. As a matter of fact, it's a 7-year process for this seal to complete. And we damn sure don't want to complete the seal with their images. That's just got to stop. And it's the advertising agencies and the corporate medias that make these logos, these brands, these images, these symbols, and then we wear them. Most of your symbols, do you notice how they're over the left side? They put the logo on the left of the shirt, on the feminine side. It's insanely in our face. We can't even see it. Start taking them logos off your left side of your shirt and put them under your right foot. Then take some authority back. It's time to put them all down. Put them out of their misery, because there's no happiness in what they're offering. Even these corporations, these people that work in them are miserable. They hate their lives. They stay drugged up, junked up, moneyed up, anything so they don't have to go inward and look at their self. They're in the rat race, when it's a bunch of rats instead of stars. They're faux stars. They don't even twinkle anymore. They're just dull and morbid. Hollywood is sickening. It's filthy, disgusting. There's no good found in it. There's nothing redeemable about it. Turn off your freaking TVs. That's your toohoo-boohoo. It is the overthrow. It's how they did it before, and it's how they're doing it now. And they're using the symbolism and lying about its meaning to do it, while they push that cairo every freaking age. They just change it enough till you don't recognize it. Well, it's time to recognize and get wise and recon your eyes, your center eye. Close your left eye and your right eye, and start manifesting with your third eye. Start projecting that symbolism in your mind's eye. And put that shit down. I'm tired of it, and we got to do something, and this is the only thing we can do. One is become aware, and two, you can't do it for anybody else. You can only do it for yourself. So start taking control of the symbolism in your life, in your home, what you buy, and its power over you. Once you know how the trick is done, the magic don't work anymore. It's time for Toto to come along and pull the curtain so that we can see that the wizard is just a freaking man with a bunch of symbols. And notice, even in the Wizard of Oz, all that fire, that masculine cardinal fire. Yeah, tired of it myself. I'm over it. Let's move on to a better world that we're going to create. And we're going to create it out of love, not out of fear. Go be the love, be the kindness, bank your karma, and let's do this.